Hey everybody, this is the Pico pick by AcEDC. Just got it in the mail the other day, and I'm fairly happy with it, except, it is very, very close to the GAO Studios rice ball. And we're going to compare these two and show you the differences between the two. Basically, this one's much more modular. It can do 3 or 4 different things depending on how you have it set up. This does one thing and one thing alone, but it does it pretty well, if that's all you're after, except for the price line's probably about the same. They're both stainless steel. This one's a little bit more heavier. Now, I try to avoid covering copies, just because I don't want to deal with people that might be offended by it or something. I have no problem with people buying copies. Sometimes it's all you can afford. You should do what you like with your money. I really don't want to get into a big discussion about it either. Now, in this case, it's kind of strange. I mean, I have quite a bit invested in GAO Studio pieces, and I have quite a bit invested in AcEDC products, and I would like to continue to get from both of them, and I'm going to, because I already have that money invested. And like I just said, I wanted to see what these two were like. And compare them, and I can at least share that with you so that you'll know. So this stainless steel, but it's black. On the back we have their little Pinocchio, cyberpunk Pinocchio dude. I do kind of like that, but this is what I really don't care for. Pico pick is fine. AcEDC 2022 is fine. The little note's fine. But that inexplicably says lies rock. Maybe if it said here lies rock, that would have made a bit more sense, or it would have sounded better, maybe, I don't know. But that's just kind of strange. That a little bit more research might have been done there. In fact, one of the fellows that reviewed this said he's gonna take this plate off, and I'm gonna take it off and show you in a second, but he's gonna take this and just put it up on his lathe and just machine the whole surface right off. So let's just go ahead and take this apart. I've shown you what it does. All it does is this. There are no other modular options for it. These are magnets. These are the only thing holding the top and bottom together. Then you have a good-sized bearing. Then you have a carbon fiber plate and a Phillips head screw, and underneath that, we'll show you here. Underneath that, we have 6 magnets. The unfortunate thing about this is that they're glued in. They will not come out. If these were removable, then you might have been able to change the way this works a little bit, so that instead of right now it wants to, ooh, that's interesting. Maybe we shouldn't do that right now. I'll show you in a second. But it's a shame these aren't removable, because you could have, say, taken out 3 of the 6, put this back on, because that, of course, is what would be holding them in. Maybe that was their original intent. And then, with these all spaced out into where they're supposed to be, you might have been able... darn it. Oh, I forgot there's a magnet there. All right. No problem. You know what? Let's do this first. Put this back on. Not really thrilled with the fact they used a Phillips head screw. Again, that's kind of a sign of cheapness in the United States, I think. Most of us are expecting to see Torx or at least Allen head screws at this point in time. So that goes back together. Now these balls, let's just put them here. There we go. I always forget. Use the other half of your haptic, especially when you got magnets, to help aid in putting the other half magnets in. There we go. Got that. Now this should go right back on without any problem. And let's leave it off for just a second. As I was saying, see, we didn't change anything, so I did not expect it to change. But it clicks in the middle, and it clicks when it gets to the corner. So some corner, middle, corner. Had we been able to remove 3 of the 6 magnets down here, it might have worked the way I said, where you could at least have had a change. It would have gotten rid of this middle click here. It would have gone from corner all the way to corner without stopping in the middle. And that's one of the things you can set up on this. I'm going to try to show you quickly how you can set up this one, just so you have a reference. But that is essentially it. There's not anything else to talk about on this thing. It does this. The bearing makes it very smooth. This is essentially set up the same way right now. This has far less resistance, far less noise. It's very delicate. I've used that to describe a lot of things from GAO. Just has a very delicate feel to it, but it does stop in the same spots. Middle, corner, corner, middle, corner. So let's just put that out of the way. Don't need that. Let's go ahead and explore this a little bit. There's no way to take this apart without making a mess, it seems. This one does not use magnetic balls. Actually making a mistake putting those in next. Let's just get all the parts separated. This was not meant to be a video about the GAO Studio rice ball, but I think it's important to see the differences between the two. They cost about the same, and this one does so much more. But like I said, it does the one thing better. Now, here we have... Okay. Well, that was an R188 bearing, but underneath that bearing you see there's a little hole there, and that's a place for us to take a pointy object like my Swiss Army knife toothpick, and we'll push it in there, and that should lift this front cap right up, I think. There we go, see? So under this one we have the cap, and then we have 3 magnets that are permanently glued in, and 3 magnets that are just resting in there loosely. So this, unlike the other one, these 3 can be removed, and I guess we could do that. Is it worth doing? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, there's 2, there's 3. So 3 magnets came out. We'll put the lid back on, and these balls on the GAO Studio one are not magnetic, and in fact the only purpose they serve is to sit in these trenches, and as the magnets roll over top of them, they get attracted and then released, and that's where you get the rice ball sound. So these are just for sound effects, and we'll just leave those out of the picture for the rest of the way. I do have to pause and find that bearing that fell on the floor. There it is. And we'll put that back in. There's a magnet in the middle. Unlike this Pico pick, there are attracting magnets between these two, and one of the options is to put this back together with no magnets. In other words, no magnets in the base, and it doesn't really matter at that point whether you have all the magnets installed in the top or not. But once you put these together, now, if this is your kind of thing, you can do that. And the nice part is, it's not going to fall apart on you because they're magnetically attracted. So that was one of the options, or one of the modular features of the GAO. The next one, we can leave that in. We'll put the magnets back into the body here. And to do that, we'll find out. See, I need to know what the orientation of these 3 magnets are, so we'll just use it underneath here to get that orientation. So these need to go down in that way. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and like I said, the balls are just for noise, so we'll leave them completely out of it this time. And now we'll slap this back together. And now, since, if you remember, when we took this cap off, we removed the removable magnets, which were in the middle, and middle, and we left the permanent ones in here. So now it should swing from corner to corner without stopping in the middle. And that's exactly what it does. So there's another modular feature. I actually like that. Haven't done that very much. I also like it without the balls in. It's just less noisy. This one is a little bit sloppier, you know, because it doesn't have a full-size bearing. That's why I say this one, it does what it does. It does it really, really well. And there is no sloppiness, of course, because that, well, there's just a little bit, but that's because I'm really forcing it. But you figure you've got that large ring bearing in there, and that's definitely helpful. So, you know, I don't know. This is definitely heavier and chunkier. You got to weigh out your options there and decide, you know, which one's for you. While we're here, let's go ahead and do some measurements quickly, and then finally we'll do some comparisons. So, I am getting about 36 millimeters. About 35. Thickness is about 13. And the weight, 83, about 83 grams. I believe you can get this in, I'm guessing again now, it's probably zirconium and probably titanium. Price is going up with those materials as well. So we got the measurements, we got the weight. Let's compare it here to similar triangular shaped objects. This is the Flux? I think it's called the Flux by Index. I really want to sandblast this as soon as I can because it's slippery. My fingers are just right this evening, just enough moisture on there to get a good grip on it. But this is the one that's a coin spinner that's virtually totally silent for all practical purposes. A lot of people like this, and it actually is doing the same thing. It's you know, from corner to the middle to the corner. So you have that size-wise. Let's compare the two. I guess that's about it. And the Triquetra by Compoform, somewhat larger. Now, that's a completely different kind of toy, but there you go. I think that's about it. These two, again, did we compare them? You can see the AcEDC one's just a little bit larger. Maybe just a little bit thicker. So there you have it, folks. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.